First time with the new headphones, brother.
Yeah.
Forgive you, boy. How you doing?
Doing good.
There's a chair between us now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part of the show when PD and I just talk about the visual aspect for all our visual podcast watchers and listeners.
While this is being recorded, we are wrapped up in a little bit of a feud.
A little bit of a feud.
You know, so
this is why the chair. you know when you're fighting and you're like, I wish if I could only, if those restraining orders only lifted past a recliner.
If we weren't contractually obligated to do the podcast.
You must, judge ordered, you must stay a recliner length away from each other. And we're cool with that.
Well, actually, when this comes out, the feud will be recently over, right? Not that we planned that.
Yeah. The feud will be over, and we'll all
hopefully.
have a...
hopefully it'll be over.
Yeah, we don't know. For those of y'all who aren't aware, PD dropped some heinous... I love saying that word so much.
Yeah.
Heinous allegations against me that were true.
And by the time this comes out, the Frick Frack trial will be out too.
Yeah.
So
PD dropped some allegations against me that were absolutely 100% true. So in 2014, while we were in Charleston, right?
Wait, so we're talking about this in retrospect.
Yeah,
we haven't even played the whole thing out yet.
No. Hey, let's do the intro.
This is an after-school program podcast.
Andrew has mentioned over and over how we need to let the intro play.
Yeah, I've been thinking that too.
People need to know this is an after-school program podcast, and people need to hear Andrew's beautiful voice. So, how you doing, PD?
But to make that point, you talked over the intro.
No. But I let it. I let it. Did I talk over Drew?
Yeah. Wait, did you? I don't know.
No, I don't think I talked over Drew. I let it play an appropriate amount. How you doing, PD?
Doing well. I was just looking, and we have everything behind us, from Lee Strobel to Family Guy.
Lee Strobel, dude, one of my favorite books. Here it is. I got this for Grace on her birthday a few years ago. It's a book called "You're 50, Now What."
Okay, from a distance, I thought that was like 5 different people that I know. Because that's just like the stock photo 50-year-old white guy.
The genre. You already know this dude's political leanings. You know this dude tears up some Cracker Barrel biscuits.
He's the senator from Arizona. I don't know.
You can say this dude's a senator of anywhere, and people be like, that is absolutely correct. So I got this book for Grace a couple years ago. She's turning, I can't even remember, 26 or something when we, before we got married. And I drop it all. I go to their house to visit because it was a long distance relationship. And I was there for the weekend.
Yeah, the only long distance relationship that's ever worked out.
Hey,
sorry to Ed and Rose.
Hey, this is, that's my introduction. My name is Shama. PD, I got dreads now, dude.
You got dreads?
Yeah, I got dreads now, dude. Look at this. This is for all the visual.
Little Sham is finally happening.
I look like a. I look like a. What did I say the other day? I've been roasting myself. I look like a great value Pusha T.
So, like, how long is this around?
Well, if they lock forever until a haircut.
Yeah,
but if I get rid of them, Diana hooked me up.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I'm just trying to.
You
do
really
something
are
different,
like
dude.
Walmart Kendrick Lamar. Dang, that's your album.
That joke is darn.
Darn, yeah.
Oh man, rated E for evangelistic. Nobody take that joke. That's my joke. But yeah, that's me. Well, tell the people about yourself.
My name's PD, and I actually took Shama's advice, and I brought a jacket to wear this time, so then I could take it off for the next podcast, and I won't be wearing the same thing.
Let me mention this, guys. Just a little window behind the scenes of the show is because of our new space, PD and I will get together and we'll record a couple of episodes at once like we're doing today. I can't... The amount of times that I've told PD, hey, bring a change of clothes for continuity, for a different thing, and PD just doesn't understand. It's been a long time. Now listen to Walmart, Kendrick Lamar, and don't make me tell you about bringing a change. I brought a tee.
You did?
Yeah, I look over there.
Nice.
Bought a tee and a hat to cover up my my Pusha Q dreads. That was another joke I made the other day.
Did you listen to the new Kanye?
I have not. No.
So he said it's going to be called God's Country, the trap album, and the first song makes it seem like it. He's not lying. And he actually released the song on time, which is insane.
Yeah, dude, that guy was mixing "Jesus Is King" like the night before. I followed an Instagram page, and
it wasn't to his liking yet or something.
And I'm like, and then he still pushed it. So there was like a bunch of artists are privy to like back end entry of so many like release strategies that we aren't, like formatting. Like I can't name songs with a lowercase letter, but these artists can do whatever because they're signed. So this guy like mixing, he's like, I'm working on the finishing masters for Jesus Is King. And I was like, what, like 2 a.m. and then it dropped at 3 or something? It didn't drop at midnight, did it? It dropped a little afterwards, did it?
I'm not sure. I was on Twitter and saw people saying new Kanye.
Yeah.
So.
Dang.
Did you like hashtag West Day Ever? Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
That's a great hashtag.
Yeah, it was. He was doing that all day.
That's a good hashtag, man.
And then he dropped, it's not from him. Ty Dolla $ign, Skrillex, and Kanye.
Travis Scott, was he not on the song?
He was on the first song.
So the album's out?
No, the album's not out.
Oh.
Kanye put out a single, and then Ty Dolla $ign put out his own single with a Kanye feature on it today.
Dang. Is it good?
I liked Kanye's better, but it's good.
Oh. I don't know how to feel about, like, how do you feel about Kanye's new projects? I mean, he's on our team now.
I don't.
God's team.
Not God's team. It's God's country.
Oh, my bad.
That's
bad. Sorry. Where are we at? We're in MAGA country. Guys. I hate that I said
Call
that.
it the Bible.
I
Belt.
hate that I said that. Guys, listen. I hate that I said that.
We already had a term for what we're in.
I regret saying what I said.
COVID country
guys.
too. That could be it.
Oh, you're gonna who is that?
From Greenville. It's not on my.
Oh,
so I'm not answering.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
gonna be some telemarketer,
man.
And I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, we got a new song coming out. Yeah, we've told people about it. So Crispy is coming out this month. We finally got it together.
Do we have a date?
Yeah, 17th.
Nice.
17th, I think, of the 19th.
19th
of July. Listen to the new project, guys. Besides that, PD, we're reading some emails today. Or did you want to mention anything else?
I really I don't have anything else to mention other than it's really funny seeing all the like public freak out videos that have been coming out of our current situation.
The Karens, dude.
Yeah, and it's like men. It's not just women; it's men too.
Dude, the picture of that couple. Is it bad that if I see something multiple times on Twitter, then I'm like, do I even want to know about it? You know what I mean?
I pulled this tweet, but I said, new division, race force.
Oh man. You want to think, can it get any worse? and guess what? Every day online, I have continually shown that it can get worse, and here it is every single day. The newest, like with the couple holding the guns.
Yeah, there's that
dude.
Her eyes.
Yeah,
crazy. Then there's the guy. They must have had some like public town hall thing, and he's like, "I'm not gonna be muzzled like a dog," and I was like, "You look exactly like you should be muzzled like a dog."
Yeah. Oh, and like all the people who were talking about masks.
Yeah,
and like
it's
Florida
like the freak out about the masks, which I'm like, dude, I've been watching pro wrestling for so long, and if those guys can wrestle in masks, you can put a little piece of cloth.
Do they wear masks now?
When they wrestle, I mean like luchador masks.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes. I was like, are they wrestling now with masks? Like it's close contact. It's the closest contact sport.
The first day that I wore a mask, I was like 2 hours into my shift, and I was like, I have a newfound respect for luchadors because this gets hot, and I'm not running around.
And a luchador mask, man. Is that like leather? Like what's a good latex? What is that made of?
I don't even know. But Chase said that he would give me one of his to wear until COVID is over. So,
oh really?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. Because I asked my manager if I could have a custom mask, and she doesn't know it's gonna be over my whole face.
You need to be like, hey, can I get a custom mask? And she's like, yeah, sure. And you're like, can you sign right here? And then she doesn't have time to read it.
Yeah.
And then you come in the next day and you're like, hey, I'm PD, a masked PD. And I'm gonna jump off the tightrope to every freaking guest.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right,
let's get into some emails.
Let's get into it. It's time to check D's emails. Okay, this is Rebecca Houghton. We already read your. Thank you. She says, we read yours, Rebecca. Thank you. 3 stories. Pick your favorite. I love that this person was like, hey, like here you go. Do what you want with all this. This is Jordan Erickson. Jordan says, hello, PD and Shama and Church Stories episode guest. Hey, this is the first email that's addressed the guest.
Yeah, very nice.
And Jordan, you just greeted yourself from the past. Your past self greeted you now. I work as a student ministries director for a church, and I'm a huge fan of the podcast, Deuteronomy Memes, and after school program in general. Hey, that's everything. That's everything we got, Jordan.
Name all of Andrew's bands.
If
you're really a fan of the after school program, and name every play that Abby has been in.
Yeah. Name every play. What's PD's middle name?
Yeah,
that's a real
Republican president. That's your hint.
PD's canceled.
I'm not canceled. That's legitimately why I have my middle name.
Oh, really?
Is because my dad was such a big fan of Ronald Reagan.
That he
named me Reagan.
Oh boy. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Scott. He told me he's catching up on the episode.
And then whenever somebody asked me about how I feel about Ronald Reagan, I was like, I wasn't around.
It's what people make it sound like you. How do you feel about him? Okay, back to the email. Thanks again for sharing my Easter meme on Deuteronomy Memes. Did we do that?
I guess.
You're welcome.
People send stuff if I like it, I post it. So it could have been him.
I got mad clout from my students for it. I have 3 stories for you, a shorter, medium, and longer tale. Feel free to pick your favorite if you end up reading them on the show. PD, do you still keep track of clout?
No.
Like, it's all baked into the cake now, right?
Yeah.
Like, when people try to, I feel like people will try to tell, oh, dude, so-and-so shared this thing. And I'm like, wow, I don't know. Am I capped? Am I clout capped? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's fun.
Like you've had memes that have been freaking everywhere.
Yeah, even like Chris D'Elia, whose future is in question.
Rest in peace.
I made something that got sent to him
He's
so many times
on life support.
That he posted it on his Facebook and his Instagram.
Yeah. Dude, you've also, my favorite, you and I did the memes. It was like, I said, what is it? Psalms is just David's mixtape.
Yeah, that goes around and around.
Wait,
and around.
What was the other tweet that we was like?
I said,
I can't even remember. See,
I don't even remember
how much
the
we
meme.
don't even.
It was 2018 when we posted.
Anyways, I've seen this meme so many places.
Psalms is just David's mixtape, and then Proverbs is like if God had a Twitter. There it is.
But I've seen those memes so much.
Then Judge Judy went everywhere.
Dude, yeah. Where I've seen it, like, it's baked, where it's like it's been screenshot so much that the quality's like demolished.
Yeah, so I actually, the popular meme account, F-word Jerry.
Yeah. F-word.
F-word Jerry. That's what we'll call
spelled
it.
Just like that.
This. Yeah, I mean, we all unfollowed them a while back, I think, and then
at a protest.
Just like when my Judge Judy meme was going around, I was like, I need to know.
Did it?
If it didn't get posted there, but I followed for like 2 weeks just to be like, I want to know if I get that meme credit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Jordan's email. Okay. The most quotable student, the biggest appetite. Short story. I help lead a small group of now 10th grade guys, lovingly called Jesus Dragons. What? I don't know what I expected, and I'm not let down. Because everything we say is fire for the Lord. Yeah. Okay. See, we were lost, and the answer was right here in front of me. Guys, stick with it. Stick with this episode. Once a semester, we have a bro overnight. Brover night. Is that
Brover?
Brover?
Red Rover?
I don't know what that pun is.
I'm
sleepover. I think it's bro over.
Let's just. How are you feeling so far about Jesus Dragons and bro overnight?
I mean, it can only get better. And the end does not. Okay. Brover night, where we go serve others for the night, then we play games, eat food, and have fun. Our small group happens to have the most quotable student in the history of student ministries. The morning after the Brover night, I am making breakfast for the guys, and the student comes up and within 1 hour eats 5 breakfast sandwiches, 6 pancakes, 6 breakfast sausages, 3 packs of Swiss cake rolls, and 4 pieces of Dairy Queen ice cream cake. What?
I wanted that to end.
What?
He
For
only weighs
breakfast?
120 pounds.
Yeah. It's usually like when somebody describes how much they ate, are you like, oh, how heavy are they though? Does it stay?
Yeah.
That's funny. And 4 pieces of Dairy Queen cake. This is for breakfast. So he's making breakfast, and this student comes up and within an hour eats this. And he says, he then proceeded to say, I'm going to convince my dad to buy me Taco Bell for breakfast. I look at him and say, how are you not full? This student then looks at me deadpan and says, I came here for a good time, not a long one. This is one of the most tame quotes this student has produced over the last 4 years. I have over 300 from him.
You've said that before.
Yeah, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Yeah.
And what I always say is, it's not good when your logic lines up with like the crack addict behind Bilo. You know, it's
yeah. Or you're like, okay.
That's the same exact logic.
I mean, God bless them both, man. Okay, that was the first one. I kind of want to hear if you have all 300 of these quotes. Could you, if they're written down, Jordan, you got to send them to us. I'm curious. Yeah. Maybe we'll spend time reading a couple every episode.
but I think that with that saying that it should be, I'm here for a good time, and then the last like I don't know, couple years is gonna be horrible because of my good time. Like the last chunk of my life is gonna suck.
I'm here for a good time and then pain from like the last couple.
Pain, disease, or I don't know, somehow death.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Or
I mean, yeah. Well, you would consider yourself health conscious, right?
Conscious, but not healthy. Yeah. I'm aware of what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm not healthy.
Grace bakes bread, and I was eating some bread. She was like, maybe just only eat 1 slice. And I'm like, babe, I've been a size 32 since high school. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get those. I worked at my first job. I gained like a freshman freaking 50, man. I was over 200 pounds at one point. Then after that, I had a friend insult me very harshly to my face. I went home, cried, and then guess what? Changed my diet and cared about what I ate. Wow. Am I saying that was the right way to do it, Mark? It's a different Mark. No, but you know what? It worked for me. He's very harsh. I've never been that verbally cut deep. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
32.
I mean, we all read
the
article about the dude who texted his friend some like mean thing every single day.
Oh, like you're fat or something
until he lost it all. But
man,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because that sounds like a good way to make somebody depressed or like harm himself or something. But
I think different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. So what Sean was saying, if you think you can fat shame somebody.
No.
Sean
Pendrick Jamar. No, I'm going to continue. All right, this is the next one from Jordan. Girl, Snapchat, and goats of fear. Goats of fear, okay, medium. We were at a district youth conference. What you know about district youth conferences, PD?
I went to one, and it was a youth conference that was like 90% old people.
Yeah. Hey, that's because the numbers are never up to par. They're like, hey, we got to bring some people over 22 here.
Yeah, it should be the Be Fruitful and Multiply conference because apparently it's not happening.
We were at a district youth conference, and we were walking around town with the Jesus Dragons when they were in 7th grade. You gotta love
like
Jordan's the Jesus Dragon, the J Dragons, when they were in 7th grade. And I had one of my junior leaders with me who was in 11th grade at the time. I love when a leader's just slightly. It reminds me of like, what is it called? John Mulaney's joke. They were just horses what is it? Horses watching dogs.
Yeah.
The lead was in 11th grade at the time, and he would always randomly walk up to girls he had never met, look at them in the eye, and say, "I'm sorry, it just won't work out. It's me, not you." We all know this kid. We've been in youth group with this kid.
Yeah.
And then sprint away. You have to sprint away. And then he did this to a random group, and they yelled back at him, "That's what you think." As we were walking into the session, worship speaker time, this junior leader gets a piece of trash thrown at him by one of the girls before he throws it away. She tells him it's got her snap code on there. So after session, we are in the hotel, and he starts talking to her. Now, guy meets girl at youth conference is normally a recipe for disaster, but fortunately, this one discerning student. I didn't understand that sentence. Sorry. After about 30 minutes, he says, "I need to be done. She's asking me about astrology."
That's a good time to get out. If she's really
Guys,
into astrology.
If you ever wondering how to get somebody to stop texting you, this is it. Just be like, "Hey, I don't know. What is an astrology sentence? Hit me, PD." Stars and stuff.
Today, this is your horoscope for today. Today, things will come to try to knock you off your balance, but you are strong.
Yeah, you're stronger than the things.
Yeah. That's how deep a horoscope is. It's like that's what all astrology is. It's like
it's just kind of like, hey, you were born in July.
Yeah.
You are stronger, and you are faithful to the ones who are loyal to you. And you're like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's like a personality test that is given to you. You know, like it's like your personality traits that are given to you based on when you're born. It sounds ridiculous.
And then it didn't land for everybody, and they were how about Enneagram numbers? And we were like, yes, we'll take it.
You get to take a test for the Enneagram. You're not assigned an Enneagram.
But it's like you want your parents' respect more than anything.
You think Enneagram is or astrology is Enneagram in the sky?
Enneagram in the sky. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, 30 minutes in, he says, "I need to be done." She's asking me about astrology. I look at his messages, and sure enough, she shared that she is a Capricorn and wanted to know his sign. We decided to take the conversation in a weird turn in hopes that she would decide to stop texting him. We proceed to ask her what even is a Capricorn. She responds with a long article about how it's the goat of fear. My leader responds with, "Oh, wow. That's a pretty appropriate name. I'm terrified of goats. How are you afraid of goats? LOL. Question mark. It's a long story, missionary kid life. Haha. He grew up as a missionary in Quebec. Oh, neat. So what's your sign? I personally like yield signs. They're very underrated. Deer crossings are pretty common where we live too. Let's say it didn't take long for her to stop messaging him. After their conversation was concluded, my junior leader says, I should have known that was a bad idea. Her name was Heaven. So who names their kid Heaven if they're going to be obsessed with astrology? Fortunately, the next day we did not see her, but we still laugh about it to this day. Quote from the story: I was wondering why a girl would randomly throw trash at me, but it turns out it was her number, to which one of the dragons went, wait, that's why girls throw trash at me all the time?
Solid sitcom joke. Do you think in sitcom bits? I do all the time.
Do you?
Because I watched so many sitcoms when I was young that I would do that to Annie all the time. I would just from a very early age, I would write sitcom punchlines in my head.
Yeah.
Because I watched so much Everybody Loves Raymond and King of Queens and stuff as a child that my in-laws are very much into a show called Cheers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on Netflix, but it's this old sitcom that was all set up in a bar, and it is so. I mean, every episode happens in a bar. I don't think any episode happens outside of the bar. And Your Mother,
Ted Danson is in it. Yeah, and it is so pound for pound set up punchlines. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's I think.
But I think about
Frank
that
from Everybody Loves Raymond was my inspiration, I guess, because I remember the one example that comes to mind is me and Annie walked outside, and right when we walked outside, it started raining, and I was like, the clouds saw you, now they're crying, and a laugh track went off in my head. But then it happened with Lauren recently. where she said something. She's like, does our relationship have a lifetime guarantee? And I was like, well, does that mean if it's defective, I get to take it back?
Oh, man, I had a liner like that yesterday. I had a one to Grace, but I can't remember it. What did she say? Man, what did she say? She talked about making something. And I was like, what are, you know, it's like, that stupid joke where you just combine two words and you're like, what about, what is this? I don't know. Dude, one of my favorite sitcom jokes, running jokes, is Chris Freeland, who's been on the show, the one about Bible Man. This is in the single digit episodes. Yeah. He every time you compliment like a building or something cool, he'll be like, oh, thanks, man. Which is funny. So funny because you'll be like, hey, man, dude, that's a really cool bridge. You'll be like, oh, thanks. And you're like, what?
I think it's from a ringer off.
Okay. Last story. Do I want to read the last story from Jordan? Here you go. Very long. Please advise. Here you go. You got this, PD. Take it away.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my headphones got caught.
The canoe story. All right. Not a church story, but with students, it counts. I worked at a boys and girls club before I started working in a church. During the summer, we would take the 6 to 12 grade students on a field trip weekly. I had worked at this club for about 3 weeks, and the field trip was canoeing. The club had a day campsite about 20 minutes north, so we could canoe from there to the building pretty easily. We took a group of 18 students and 2 staff, including me. Only 5 of us had ever been canoeing before. I keep automatically reading canoeing as canceling because of how much stuff has been in the news.
Is it like your brain's like taking the first letter and the last letter, like, we were canceling? That's funny.
We are getting the students set up in their canoes, and less than 30 seconds in, one of our bigger students tips their canoe, while the other students are screaming and saving the snacks. They're saving the snacks first. You gotta saving the snacks from the boat and help him get back into his canoe, which promptly tips again in less than a minute. I hold his canoe while he gets settled in, and finally everybody's off. Only 2 canoe tips in less than 5 minutes. Great. Oh, we're having a good time when we pass by the landing we were supposed to check in at. Realizing we need to go back, we all stop at a sandbar about 500 feet from the landing. This is where the story begins. Oh, that was the preamble.
That was the 4 score. Is that the preamble? Go ahead.
The other staff member volunteers to take his canoe to the landing and let them know we're safe. About 6 of the girl students joined him because they don't want to be on the sandbar with one of the boys. So the rest of us waited and we're having fun. About 15 minutes in, and their canoe had fully docked, and I yelled out to one of the students chilling at the dock what was going on. She responded to the other staff who was with me. She responded that the other staff who was with me got a hook lodged in his foot and was bleeding badly. I proceeded to rally the students and send them to the dock so we could get this staff to the hospital, but because I'm under the impression that he is dying based on what the students had said, because I'm under the impression that he's dying. So, yikes, this took a turn.
Dude, this really reinforces my theory. Youth, any water activities are just out of the question.
Yeah. So this starts off silly, like, oh, Jimmy's falling out of his canoe. Let's get the snacks out. And
somebody just slowly reeling them in.
All but 2 canoes make it to the dock, no problem. As we're making our way up the river, the original tippy canoe tipped for a 3rd time. As he falls in, some water splashes on the other canoe, and the girls in the canoe shriek. I see if they're okay, and they respond, I didn't want to get wet. Then why did you come to a canoe trip? He says in parentheses. So that's what he wanted to say to her. And he, like, in his retelling, he got to put it in parentheses.
This dude's a writer.
Everyone is fine, and we're moving again. The canoe tips for the 4th time.
Gosh.
I tell the student to just let me push his canoe, as we're only in 4 feet of water. He proceeds to get very angry. And after some arguing to give me the paddle and let me push, he smacks me in the face with his oar, and my nose starts bleeding. I thought this is just going to be somebody who keeps falling in the water. This is like...
There's 4 tips. There's domestic violence.
There's a hook in somebody's foot, and now they're bleeding.
This sounds like a Medea movie.
In a rush of adrenaline, I pick up the canoe and just yell, beep. is dying. Oh, staff member, so not a cuss word.
Oh.
When he said when he had a bunch of things in asterisks, I thought he meant he yelled a cuss word. But okay,
he's a youth leader.
I pick up the canoe and yell the staff member's name is dying. We need to save him. And one of the students is filming me saying, "This is going to be a great vine." They hired Aquaman for this field trip. That was in the quote from the student. This is going to be a great vine. They hired Aquaman for this field trip. That is so funny. These people really have their priorities in order. It's like, let's save the snacks and let's film all of this.
And I love that remember, there was a time when everybody was like, oh, I'm going to put this on Vine. Yeah. And I love that this was in that time.
Yeah, it says it was summer 2016, right before Vine died.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Vine, and rest in peace to the guy with a hook in his foot, who I guess we're going to find out if he died. We finally push the canoes to the dock, and the students are rushing to get the canoes out of the water. As they're getting out, the girl who doesn't want to get wet loses her flip-flop. I manage to get it, and as she's putting it on, she loses her other one. I get that one back, too. And when I turn around, she's standing on a pile of rock, and if you aren't careful, shale will slice your foot in half.
What? What will?
Shale rock.
Really?
Yeah. I've never even heard shale.
What? How's it spelled?
S-H-A-L-E.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't... Wait. I asked her why she was standing there and not on the dock. I didn't want to get wet.
Oh no! Is she like?
You're lucky that you weren't like around a youth leader for any of these kind of things, because this is like your worst nightmare. Yeah, we're reading your worst nightmare.
Yes, yes. Every sentence by sentence. Yes.
I put the shoes next to her and tell her to carefully step into them. She doesn't, and gets a paper cut-sized mark on her foot. She proceeds to scream, and so I have to pick her up and carry her to the dock. Fortunately, some students took her the rest of the way up. I hurry up the hill towards first aid, and as I get there, I see the staff member I was with walk out with a big grin on his face. Turns out he was fine, and the hook just got caught on part of his big toe. He looks at me and says, "When your nose is done bleeding, I have a plan."
Hey, that's a great callback, because I forgot he got hit in the face by an oar.
Yeah. We proceed. This is the best story we've ever gotten. We proceed to treat every cut, mark, leech that the students had.
Leech?
18 out of 18 ended up with something.
Hey, I mean, that's a 100% success rate. What is that success?
Yeah. Well, success, that's not it's 100% failure rate.
Yeah, you don't want that. Sorry.
And all of your students getting either a cut or a leech or, this is crazy. Man. Once everyone's on the bus, the staff takes us to a local pet shop that his uncle, the staff, okay, so this is like one person.
Yeah, is it the 11th element?
Yeah, the staff takes us to a local pet shop that his uncle happens to own. He runs in there and yells, "Uncle Bill, this man needs a puppy." What is this story? I then get taken to a small cubicle, and this odd man proceeds to hand me 5 puppies and tells me I have 30 minutes.
Uncle Bill, this man needs a puppy.
So Uncle Bill's, he takes him to a cubicle, has 5 puppies, and is like, "You have 30 minutes to make your choice." Like
this, if this story is happening at the exact pace that you would expect, like in terms of scripting, you're like, yeah, Uncle, like in terms of casting, the dude's uncle who owns a pet shop has to be named Billy.
Yes,
and he has to work in 30-minute increments.
And Nick Offerman is who we're casting in this story as the uncle. So after the most eventful canoe story I've ever encountered, there's never been a more eventful canoe story that I've heard.
No, yeah,
where every single person got hurt.
I'm even gonna throw in the canoe story of "Are We There Yet?" No, "Are We Done Yet?" I think the Ice Cube family movie.
Who could forget?
No, great movie.
My reward was chilling with 5... so he just got to hang out with the puppies. Yeah. It wasn't like you have 30 minutes and you have to make your choice of which puppy you're going home with. And like that makes me wonder if there's paperwork involved or if that's how this works.
That's how Uncle Billy works. He's like, you got 30 minutes. That's funny.
The best part was when we got back, the students told my boss they had a great time. And that's the slightly not really condensed version of the canoe story. Whether these make the show or not, Thanks for all you're doing for God's kingdom. It's really important to help people laugh and find joyful humor in their life. I'm going to continue plugging the show to those who need it. Thank you. And we'll absolutely be praying for you as you continue to serve the Lord. Thanks for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Jordan Erickson, Student Ministries Director, and I'll put out his phone number. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Doxing.
Yeah, what a great story.
That was awesome, though. Thanks, man. That was really
yeah.
cool.
We'll have to close on that because no one's topping that one today.
That was excellently written. Is that a word?
Oh, and right when we're supposed to start our other podcast in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
time to change shirts, and you're gonna take off that hoodie.
Yeah.
No, that was super funny. Jordan, this was all you, buddy.
Yeah.
You and sir. I don't know why I called you buddy.
If like Jordan, you have a story, send it in to churchstoriespod@gmail.com.
Send it in. We like seeing the stories.
Yeah. And the more stories we get, the more of these episodes we can do.
And we've dubbed this series the one about you guys.
Yeah.
It's a little wordy.
Hey.
The one about you guys, but it really is about you guys. I love that Jordan.
Are we gonna start abbreviating?
TY. The what about? I don't. No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I just don't. It's one of those things that what if people don't get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're playing to an international audience.
Welcome to Church Stories, OAYG.
Oh wait, yeah. Hey, Church Stories is actually downloaded in a lot of countries. I'm not gonna say numbers. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Billions and billions of countries.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, send in your church stories. Guys, we are reading them. Okay, we're trying to read them on the show. So like Jordan, we did not read your email before the show. I knew that there was 3 stories in the one from the subject and like the first couple of sentences, but I did not read the whole thing. So this is a real live time reaction. Do you got a praise report, Pada?
Praise report is that it's Yeezy season.
Is what?
It's Yeezy season.
It's Yeezy.
Yeah.
Praise yay. Can I say that?
No, because that makes him sound like a deity.
No. Guys, listen, it's church stories, all right? And this church is about Jesus, God, not yay. But yeah.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
I just wanted to clarify. I feel like somebody's going to be like, man, this is going to get like a 1 star on Apple Podcasts. Be like, this podcast really fell off when they talked about Kanye more than they did Jesus. What is my praise report? Man, my son's turning 1 this Friday.
Wow.
Give us a couple days.
It's big
July 3rd. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing a little birthday party, a little shindig.
Nice.
At a farm.
I'll perform.
At a goat farm. You'll come through?
I'll perform.
What you gonna do? Can you do every other line of homeschool anthem?
Okayed it with my mom. Finished top of my class.
And then the bridge of the worship song.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, guys. That was the short episode. Enjoy it. Watch it.
No, the bridge of worship song and then me screaming.
The drums are getting
Stop it wet. A little higher, but there'll be no key change.
It's just you performing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks.
The homeschool anthem turned 1, just like your son did.
It did.
Right before we...
Our baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned 1 yesterday. Your dad shared it. That's the only reason I found out about it. Your dad shared it on Facebook, and he was like, oh, it's turned 1. And I was like, oh, man, that's crazy. This was just last summer. I went freelance, and then it was like right before my son was born. I'm like, hey, let's drop this homeschool anthem song. So crazy. Wild summer. And it's another wild summer. I don't know what we expected.
It's wild world.
Yeah. Hey, I've been meaning to say this on the show, but I'd like to publicly apologize to you, PD, for giving you flack every time you said 2019 all of last year.
Oh, in comparison, it was the greatest year of all time.
Hold on. It's like legit. Every time you I'd call you on the phone. You'd be like, happy 20 shine. I'm just shining.
I would say it all the time.
Yeah, just shining. It's 2019. And then like freaking February or March of this year or January. Yeah, it was like World War I talks or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what? Little did
I
we
forgot
all
about the World
know.
War talks.
Yeah. World War, freaking everything happened. And now I was thinking about this at my house, just in private, just my head in my hands. And I'm like, PD, he spent all last year shining, and here I was making fun of him. Little did I know this year would be dark.
Yeah. Well, and we had a lot of cool stuff happen last year.
Yeah,
too.
we had a ton of cool stuff.
And then we want to do cool stuff this year, but that's the problem. We want to, but
the coolest thing we've done so far, I was about to say, is fake beef on Instagram.
yeah, honestly.
No, we had a worship song, Sandra.
Okay, the second best thing we've done.
That's what I told everybody we've worked with.
Yeah.
Man, the coolest thing is this fake beef. And we didn't even talk about what the beef was. Guys, you're going to have to listen to it on another episode. Hey,
We can squash the beef right now like sausages. That's a childish Gambino line.
This has been Church Stories.
And you've been awesome.
Can I say that again? Can I say that again?
Yeah.
Could you just say you have 30 minutes?
All right.
This has been Church Stories.
5 puppies, 30 minutes.
You enhanced it. You enhanced the tag. All right, see ya.